Hello, hello, hello. What's happening, everybody? MCOC Droid does back again for another video on Marvel Contest of Champions. So the current 5-star featured crystal is running out. As you can see right there, it's got just about 7.5 days left. It'll expire on January 15th, excuse me, at 10 a.m. At that time, it'll be replaced by the new 5-star feature crystal. So it's going to follow the same format as this one in the last few, where it will feature 6 featured champions and then 18 base champions, filler champions, however you want to phrase it, for a grand total of 20 champions. So, of course, that means the next crystal will feature the next 6 featured champions. I'm saying featured a lot, aren't I? It will feature the next, we'll say the 6 newest champions after the current lineup here, which, you know, ended with, like Emma Frost and Omega Red, etc., etc. So it's going to kick off with Venom the Duck, Symbiote Supreme, The Champion, Aegon, Night Thrasher, and get us caught up all the way to Darkhawk. So we knew those were going to be the next 6. However, we've all been waiting to see what the 18 filler champs are going to be. And earlier today, sure enough, Kabam released the full lineup for the new 5-star featured crystal. So since it's already been released, and MCOC Trucos has of course made the fantastic image better than, well, any of us can. Let me go ahead and throw it up. Boom, right there. So initially there was actually a little bit of controversy, a little bit of a hiccup with the crystal, because it featured 4 champions that were already in the current 5-star featured crystal. If I pull that back out for a second, it'll be kind of hard to see, but the new crystal actually originally featured Captain America, Rhino, Old Man Logan, and Classic Spidey. And in the past, when this new format for the 5-star featured crystal was released last year, Kabam has said that yes, while you may see reruns of champions, and eventually we're going to have to, in these feature crystals, we won't ever see them back to back. Well, unfortunately, it happened this time. Like I said, those 4 champions were added to the new crystal, and so got on the forums. You know, people brought it to their attention. Kabam Mike saw that, brought it to the team. They quickly responded, and you'll see they replaced it with a few others, which is good. I mean, at the very least, they're not repeating any current champions, which is fine. So going down the list, again, we have our 6 main featured champions to various degrees of awesomeness. I mean, in my opinion, I'd say the top 3 are easily Symbiote Supreme, Aegon, and Darkhawk. Kind of funny how it works out for the 6 profiles to the left there. The right column are the top 3, in my opinion, and the left column are the bottom 3. Venom the Duck, the Champion, and Night Thrasher, which does not mean that they're the worst champions in the game, or they're bad, or anything like that. But, in my opinion, for the 6 featured champions, they're probably the bottom half, if you will. But overall, this is a pretty solid crystal. So what ended up happening was, for those 4 that I mentioned earlier that got quote-unquote replaced, they replaced them with Magneto, Yellow Jacket, Spider-Gwen, and MODOK. So I would argue that was actually an improvement compared to, well, you know, having reruns again of Captain America, Spidey, Rhino, and Old Man Logan. I would say overall it's a slight step up even. MODOK, of course, being the best of those 4. But if we take a look, let me go ahead and get rid of these 6 right here so we can just focus on the crystal as a whole. In fact, let me even center it a little. There we go. So, yeah, in fact, I'll even blow it up a little bit more so we can focus. This is a pretty solid lineup, I must admit. So, again, you've got your 6 features, and from the 18 basic, of course there are duds. You know, you've got OG Iron Man in there. You've got She-Hulk. I already mentioned Spider-Gwen as like a replacement. Magneto is one of the replacements, and he's kind of Iron Fist, you know, so you definitely have some less than desirable champions. However, you have some pretty great options in there as well. Even the middle tier is pretty solid with champions like X-23, Nightcrawler, Punisher 2099 is a bit of a Swiss Army knife. Mephisto is still pretty solid. King Groot is okay in some circumstances, but then you start getting to the top. I mean, Agent Venom is right along there as well. He's definitely mid-tier. So pretty solid. However, the top tier is pretty solid top tier. Gwenpool is in there, who is still a fantastic champion. I love having her as a 5-star. But you've also got Magic. You've also got Sparky for the first time in these features. You've got Iceman in there, which is another amazing pull, especially if you still need a strong double immune champion. Again, even having MODOK in there is a nice touch. He's not top tier or anything, but he's definitely a solid pull for those who do not have him yet. He's a lot of fun to play and has some interesting abilities. But again, just the fact that you've got Aegon in there, you've got Darkhawk in there, Iceman, Sparky, X-23, Gwenpool, Magic, Symbiote Supreme. It's a pretty solid featured crystal, I must say. If you have followed my channel for a while, you'll know that this current iteration of the 5-star featured, I actually have not done a single one of these, and at this point, I'll just let it expire. All of the featured champions have now made their way into the basic, with Omega Red coming in last week. So all of those are now available in basic, and for some reason Siri is going off in the background. But I've not gone for any of these. I did go for a bunch of the previous iteration, and I got some great pulls. I got some crap pulls. It was pretty well balanced. As you can see right here, I've got 33,000 and change in terms of 5-star shards. I also have, this has nothing to do with the 5-star featured, but it kind of does in the sense that I have 7,700 6-star shards. So we have our new event quest that starts on Wednesday, which is in less than 2 days. It's about a day and a half from now. I'm probably going to be pushing pretty hard on Uncollected to get a lot of 5-star shards in addition to all those 6-star shards. So that come Tuesday, when this goes live, as long as I've put forth the effort of getting through Uncollected, I should be doing a live stream of a triple 5-star featured opening and a 6-star basic opening. So the goal is to get to 45,000 5-star shards at a minimum by Tuesday. I still have a couple of milestones to wrap up in that 2-star arena. Like I said, we've got the new event quest that's starting, all the other usual stuff, you know, arena rank rewards, summoner advancement, alliance wars, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So all that stuff combined, I should easily be able to get to 45,000 in a week. And so that will be happening sometime in the evening that Tuesday. Triple 5-star featured crystal opening along with a 6-star basic. A live stream is going to happen. But again, that's just part of my channel. Just going back to the crystal itself, to recap, it's pretty darn good. Yes, there are always the duds in there. And there need to be, otherwise the crystal would have to be a lot more than 15,000 shards. Excuse me, it needs to be a lot more than 15,000 shards. But the pros definitely outweigh the cons on this one right here. So I would recommend this crystal. I mean, if you're starting out, maybe still go for basics as you're trying to improve your 5-star roster. However, if you are able to stay real active and get a lot of 5-star shards, I'd probably recommend this one. Mid-tier players, I would definitely recommend this. And then again, you know, for those who are towards the end game, it really, I mean, for any tier player, it always depends on your roster, how active you are, and how quickly you're able to get shards. But overall, I would recommend this crystal for just about anybody because it's pretty well stacked, and I'd say it's actually not even balanced, but it's more balanced towards good pulls versus bad pulls. And again, you know, it's up to everybody individually. You know, everyone's going to have a little bit of a different situation, so to each their own. And of course, the last disclaimer for any of these features is that this will be a brand new crystal, so if you do buy one of these features currently, it will not update itself with the new champions. So if you're waiting for the new crystal, do not buy the current featured. It will not carry over. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. If you did, be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Be sure to ring the bell so you get notified whenever I go live with that pretty, hopefully good and big opening next week, along with any other content that I add to the channel. Aside from that, thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you next time.